Welcome to Second Cup of Coffee. My name is Joseph Argueta. This month I have entitled the series Understanding the Assignment. And what I hope to do this month is just, bring up to the table 3 different people that I constantly look to and go into the Bible to just pick out some encouragement. And so the first person that, I wanted to talk about is David. And so I've chosen a scripture that I feel like really represents David's heart throughout his entire life. But it's just something that has always worked as an encouragement for me. And it's out of 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 45. And it says, David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." And the part that I want to highlight more than any other part of that verse is where David says, "But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." And the reason that I really feel like that speaks to me is because David understands the identity of who God is in his life. He really understands that God has prepared him for really big things, but because he's able to stand behind the identity of God, it really helps him move forward. And one of the things about David that really speaks to me is that when he was sent to fight, or when he goes out to the battlefield, right, he's originally just sent as a messenger. He's there kind of just to deliver items to the army, bring stuff, but he's not meant to fight Goliath, right? But as soon as he has an idea of what's going on, right, he realizes why he's actually there, right? And he uses some of his past experiences like the lion and the bear when he overcomes those situations to really stand out against Goliath as well. And one of the things that David faces in that situation is fear and doubt. And those are things we constantly face as well. But because he understands the identity of who God has called him to be, right, he really stands into that. And one of the things that David does so well, right, is he doesn't let some of his past hurts define who he is. He really allows the healing to take place in his life. One of the things that I feel like puts me in a bind sometimes is that I focus on the hurt more than the healing that God has brought into my life, right? And that's something that David does really well, right? Even though, and the Bible doesn't talk about this too much, but I could imagine, right, going up against a bear and going up against a lion, right? He probably doesn't come out of that untouched, right? But he still continues to trust God in either one of those situations. And for me, that is incredibly important to know that I have to trust God in each and every situation that I have to overcome, right? But it's just important for me to note that in my life, that even though, I may just be brought in to do small things, right? I need to be effective wherever I go, whether that's in the workplace or here at church or wherever that is, that even though I may have a small mission, I have to know. And I have to, like I said at the beginning of the section, is understanding the assignment, right? David understands what his calling is. And his decision to push past through a lot of those situations and circumstances is just something I constantly have to remind myself of. And so I hope you're able to relate with me on some of those things. Understanding the assignment and just taking advantage of every opportunity that's in front of me, that knowing my calling, knowing who God is, and being able to go from there. Thanks for sticking around. I hope to see you next week where we'll be talking a little bit about Paul.